What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters Allstar video. And in today's video we are going to be breaking down the update notice for the 928 update and giving you guys all of the information that you need to know about the latest in-game update that we will be receiving later on this evening, the good and the bad. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe if you enjoy daily King of Fighters All-Star content, and let's go ahead and get into today's video. Now, as always, if you guys want to read any of this for yourselves, links will be in the description to all of these update notices over on the forum, but let's go ahead and get into it. So as you guys can see here, the first thing of note is going to be that we are going to be getting the newest Boss Syndrome banner, which is going to be featuring BS Goenitz and BS Leona. This is something we've already spoken about at length. If you guys want to check out our thoughts on these characters and the initial details, all of the links for all of our previous videos will be in the description, and you can go ahead and check them out there. But as we have mentioned, and as we've known, we will be getting BS Leona and BS Goenitz for Boss Syndrome Volume 4, so awesome stuff as always. If we take a look here, these are going to be the card arts for the new finishers as well as the new option card. We mentioned in yesterday's video that the card art for all three of these is fantastic, as we did see this in that reveal trailer, and I'm especially really liking the new 3PG finisher for Goenitz. That card art is gorgeous, but all three of these card arts are really good. However, if we take a look at the set card here, I'm not necessarily all that impressed with the card art here. It looks like they took a bunch of in-game assets that are already available, slapped them all together, and called it a card set. But hey, who knows? And just so everybody's aware, before you ask, no, none of us know what any of these cards do. We'll have to wait and see with the update. Now, the next thing we're going to see here is we have another card that we'll be able to get. Now, this one's going to be an option card for the 3rd anniversary, and this is actually utilizing the art from the winner of the contest that they recently did for the KOF AS art contest. And as you guys can see here, it's a pretty cool little card. I like the art there, so good job to whoever won this. But overall, this is something that you will be getting as a prize for playing the new dice game, which we'll talk about momentarily in this same update notice. But overall, pretty cool. We get another free card. Hopefully it's another one that's actually halfway decent. They actually have been adding in cards recently that are pretty good, so time will tell. We'll have to wait for the actual update to come in before we know what any of this stuff does, but good stuff nonetheless. And next up here is where we start to get into the not so great news, and I'm sure you guys have already noticed this, but just so everyone is aware and on the same page, no, there is no carnival nor any sort of in-game event that is going to be giving us a free BS generic memory. That is not something that is mentioned in any of these notes, unfortunately. However, as you guys will see here, we do have a chance to obtain a 5-star BS Goenitz memory or a 5-star BS Leona memory on a random chance through the memory combination system. This is something that we have had for quite a while now, but this here is not something we've had for quite a while. This is actually a first. We can now combine up to 3 BS memories for a generic BS memory up to 2 times during the event period. So this is something we have seen with the SS memories in the previous weeks. We had theorized that we were going to be getting the system for the BS memories, and lo and behold, here we are. So yes, we can get generic memories this way, but we are not going to be getting a generic memory for free, it appears. So yay, good job Netmarble, you suck. But anyway, moving on, I'm not going to rant about that in this video, I'll probably do that later. So next up here, we do have confirmation on all of the different things we'll be getting as far as the banners go. Not much to talk about there that we haven't already mentioned. Now right here, this does confirm that we are still going to be able to pick up the BS Volume 4 imprint stones through awakening the characters. This is something that we've already known about and assumed because we've been having this with all of these banners since pretty much the very beginning. And next here we have the Nightmare Rush Dungeon. Now they mention this, but they don't really give us much information. This is going to be another Rush Dungeon event, so we've had quite a few of these recently. And then this is the login streak bonus, and as you guys can see, it's garbage. So yay, more stuff, I guess. Sure. Yeah, these login bonuses lately have just not been anything special. I don't really know what to say about it other than the fact that I'm sure that everybody will appreciate some of these items, but at the same time, it's like, Could you put some effort into it? I mean, really, look at it. It's just whatever. Anyway, moving on. I'm not going to rant in this video. I'm trying not to rant. So here we get kind of a roundup of everything we've already talked about. Now, there is going to be a battle pass. We'll talk more about the dice game momentarily in a separate notice. But overall, you guys, that is what we're getting. So next up here, we have confirmation on the in-game packages for the Boss Syndrome Fighters Volume 4. Not much to talk about here. In fact, most of these are pretty much standard fare and what we've come to expect from these in-game packages, so not really anything to mention there. Now, there is one big note here that I do want to give to everybody, and I'm very curious to see how this looks once we actually get it as far as the price point. But as you guys can see, there's going to be a 28-day Awaken Challenge package. So this package here is actually really interesting because the login bonus packages are always the best value. They're going to give you the most bang for your buck. And if you take a look here, you are going to see that we do have a new one that is going to be added in. So basically for 28 days, you will get 100 rubies every single day, as well as some Awakening XP capsules. And by the end of that 28 days, a Fest Fighter memory selector. And you also get 1200 rubies just for purchasing it right off the top. So that is a lot of value if the price point is anywhere near what the regular subscription packages are. Normally the one that is quite similar to this that's already in game is about $30, so we'll have to wait and see what they value this one at. If it's around that price point, it's probably going to be pretty good. Now, next up here, we do have confirmation that they're also going to be updating the Topaz shop. There's a couple of different items in there that have been outdated for quite a while, so they are going to go ahead and update these selector tickets for your things like your memories and your battle cards. So this is really cool that they are updating these, but this is something that needed to be done quite a long time ago. But hey, congratulations on finally getting around to it. And then finally here in this particular notice, we will see that this is a pretty interesting system improvement. They are going to be adding a lightning aura or a static aura around your phantom characters. So this is really cool. They are limited characters, so it's nice to see that they are going to be getting the same treatment. This is something that had kind of been a surprise when I first saw the character art. I didn't really care much because the art for all those characters is really good, but at the same time, pretty nice nonetheless that they are getting around to doing this. So if you check your characters out in game once this update is live, you will notice that they have a new effect to them. But that is pretty much what we are getting with this update, you guys. Not a whole lot of major stuff, but then again, we've had some really big updates lately, so probably not something we could have expected when it comes to just expecting a lot of big things, but we are going to be getting plenty to keep us busy. The biggest thing that sticks out is we aren't going to be getting a free generic memory, which I'm not very happy about, but what can you do? So we are going to talk about this separate notice for the in-game event notice before we leave this off and talk about the next topic. But in here there is a little bit more information that we haven't been able to look at yet in that other notice, so we're going to go ahead and do that real quick, and then we'll talk about some of the stuff that's leaving with this latest update. So if we take a look here, we are going to be getting the dice board, and this is the dice board image. So basically, I had mentioned yesterday in yesterday's video that I was hoping that we would get a new dice game, and lo and behold, here we are. So these things are usually really good because you're getting items for free, and you can get rubies on here. The nice thing about this one is you're also going to be able to get that option card for rounding the board. So pretty good stuff overall. Again, these things are very easy, so make sure you're just going in every day and you're picking up the dice from all of the different events you can get those from, and make sure you use them up before the end of the event. Now next up here, they talk about the battle pass. Now the battle pass, it does mention up here that it's going to be available on 9/28, but as you guys will see when we actually take a look at what's in these are actually not going to be available until 9/29, so keep that in mind. They do this all the time where they tell you it's going to be available on day one with the launch of whatever update you're getting, and then it ends up being a day or two later before you actually see the battle pass. So as you see there on the sale period, 9/29 is going to be when it is available at 9 p.m, so it will not be available for the first 24 hours of all of these events, but then it will be available at the next reset or right around there. And as you guys can see, this is what you're going to be able to get. I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds with this. This is something we can talk about when it's actually live in the game and we can take a look at it. But as you can see, for the $10 pass, there is still no Fest selector, so rip. So overall, that is what we know. This here is just going to be reiteration of the fact that we are going to be able to get the imprint stone selector collection boxes, as well as the hammers and the rubies for awakening the new BS characters, which we always can do. And that is pretty much what we're getting with the 928 update. So that is pretty much everything we need to talk about with the latest update. The last thing I want to talk about here is going to be some of the stuff that's going to be going away that you need to make sure that you do or use up before this update goes live. So the events that will be going away will be the Abyssal Darkness Night of the Yokai event, the Orochi Yamada no Orochi Advent Dungeon, as well as that memory banner. So basically, the Abyssal Darkness Night of Yokai Rush Dungeon event exchange shop will be available for the next 7 days, so you guys don't have to worry about using up your currency for that thing, but the rest of these currencies you are going to need to make sure that you use before the update goes live. And as you guys can see here, you can see which one of your currencies will be going away. So your Advent Dungeon entry tickets, your Fight in Search of the Self Rush event coins, and your Night of the Yokai coins will all be going, so make sure you use those up. But that is pretty much what we know about this update, you guys. Bit of a mixed bag. It sucks that we aren't getting that BS generic memory, but hopefully maybe there is a chance that we might get it for finally rounding the final round of that board for the dice game. That is a possibility, but I'm not going to hold my breath. But keep that in mind, it is something that could happen, so we'll have to wait and see once the event goes live, but again, no confirmation whatsoever. But that is going to be today's video, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Continue.